So our matchup on centre court is going to be our under-18 bronze medal match. Sweden up against England.
Good afternoon and welcome to South Beach here in Bridlington as we're about to get the under-18 and under-20 men's Nevza medal games underway on the bronze side. And we'll have our focus on the under-18 men's bronze medal game here on centre court. My countryman's delighted to be joined by Josh Cosgrove on this one. Josh, this could be an absolute thrilling game.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Two very good teams and very different play styles. Yeah, it's going to be a great game.
And obviously, you know the English team. You played against the Swedish team, so we'll break that down a little bit as well. But both these teams having heartbreak this morning in the semi-final games and ultimately European Championship qualifications as well on the line in those games. Lewis and Luca losing in 3 sets, having won the first set. And for Teddy and Henrik from Sweden, they won set number 2 and then lost the third 15-12 to eventual gold medalists. As we're about to introduce the teams here, but Josh, the wind's just starting to pick up again. This is a beach you know well, it's your home court.
Yeah.
So just talk about how the wind shifts and how much that can affect the players.
Yeah, the wind shifts loads, and you can see on the live stream at the back the flags are moving a lot, and that just shows where the wind's going. And if you're not used to like this type of wind, then volleyball is like very, very difficult because it's really hard to control the ball. Lewis and Luca, I know they're quite used to it because they did play last year, but Sweden, I don't know, but they've been playing with the wind quite well, so it should be a great game, and we're going to see a lot of nice plays and spin serves, especially within the wind.
We'll introduce our players onto court, centre court here, and we'll start with number 1, the 16-year-old Teddy Engvall, and his partner Henrik Bruce. And Josh, partnership you played against, what's their biggest strength?
Yeah, they are really, really good at passing and second balls. You don't know when they're going to hit or set, which is very difficult as a blocker myself to play against.
And the English pair, Lewis Bunton, the under-18 Nevza champion, having won on this court 12 months ago. And this year, Bailey a little bit too old.
Yeah.
So his new partner, Luca Robinson. Luca played with Zach McGaw, who was in the bronze medal game over on court number 2 last year. And an under-19 bronze medalist in the club in the champs last year on the beach. And Luca just turned 16. In fact, a week ago today was Luca's 16th birthday. So England, Sweden, we are underway in this bronze medal game on centre court. And the first swing after serve receive will be by Henrik, but that off the top of the net cord and just a little bit wide. And Josh Lewis, one of the most experienced players in this English youth beach setup, despite his young age. Really good serve as well. He gets the overpass on that one as Luca goes down the line. And just talk about Lewis, undersized a little bit, but
Yeah.
so explosive, and he can make up for a lot of that, even when he has to be called out at the net. So he'll serve again down the line, targeting Henrik early on. Luca peels off the net, tries to play it, peeling backwards, that ball over into court 2. Good readjustment from Henrik. As Josh's teammate for the week. And I say week because Josh part of the seniors as well. Max with us. And apparently you forgot your lanyard and your teammate's lucky enough to help you out. As Luca off the hands of the block early. And Josh, obviously this pair you know well, you've trained against a little bit. Just talk about the partnership formed between Lewis and Luca. Obviously it's a new partnership for this year, but just talk about how they've grown together.
Yeah, it's a new partnership, but they're very strong, and they play very fast, and they're very good at their shots, and it's very, very difficult to play against them because obviously Lewis is explosive and fast, and Luca's got big block and he's also really fast. So if you mess up one shot, you're usually going to lose a point because he's going to pick it up at the back.
As Henry goes off the net courts twice, we've seen him brush the top of net. This one just landing in the sideline. But you can tell England early on trying to target the 15-year-old Henrik on serve a little bit more as he goes off the net. Lewis going to go up and hammer one. And Josh, that's one we have to look at again.
Yeah.
rising well above the height of the net, and not a lot you can do in the defensive position
No,
for
not
that
at
one.
all. That's why they're so good as well, because that play is so fast, it's not high. You don't know where he's going to swing, and then he just can unleash whatever.
As Josh, again, the wind has shifted a little bit since the last game even, but that last game was a little bit more of a crosswind. Now it's that head-tail wind, so I have to take a lot of pace off that servers. Luca nails one on the cross court. Good run down by Henrik, and Teddy's going to give a free ball. As Lewis goes for a little roll into the deep corner, but that headwind, and okay to serve into, but it's the tailwind on serve that really affects you as a player, right?
Yeah, serving and setting as well. It can affect setting because you don't know. You need to adjust your power to see where, if you set too tight to the net and the wind can blow it like straight over. And Lewis and Luca are very good at adjusting that. And due to their playing fast, it's easier to keep it on your own side because the ball don't catch as much wind in the air.
Yeah, so you see a little bit more power serves coming from your left to right or towards you. If we're looking from the baseline cameras, Luca goes to the tip. One-handed pick up by Teddy. He'll swing as Lewis gets a hand to it, but Luca can't quite peel off the net quick enough. And that's the power of Teddy and Ongro. 9th and 13th in Nevza zonal senior competitions last season. Also picked up a 13th place in the Futures event in Malmo. But lovely angle by Luca on that cross court to split the block.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great from Luca there. He's had barely of a shot, no angle there, but he's managed to find it cross court.
As Lewis back on the service line, Luca plays it. Kick save attempt by Lewis, but Luca not able to get there on the third touch. But good awareness by Luca initially, even then not quite that time, but to be able to play the ball off the net the second time legally off the block. The one time you're allowed a double touch in volleyball. As Lewis goes for the little roll, and Teddy on the back line nowhere near that one. As we'll change sides, 8-6 England up on the rotation. And again, Lewis more known for those little tips and placement shots.
Yeah, very difficult to play against.
As, great pickup, and they're going to call a lift on Luca. A little bit unfortunate, because couldn't really do a lot with that one.
Yeah.
I think the only way to probably not get called for a lift is use your back of your hand.
Yeah, probably. But it's all about reaction time as well. That's too fast.
As Henrik into the net. And of course, experienced coach on the sideline for this England pair this week. Another player that Josh and Max played with in the senior competition.
Yeah.
Sam Dunbavin. As again, Henrik being asked questions in serve receive. This time comes up with it, but doesn't quite get the timing of the jump right and pulls that one down into the net cord. So England first to 10 in set one as Lewis finds the baseline.
Yeah.
Perfect angle, and you see that one on the replay.
Yeah, something useful about this wind is that spin serving from one side is a lot more effective because the ball will just spin straight down, and like that type of serve that Lewis just did is very, very difficult to pass.
So timeout taken by Sweden. Those of you that maybe don't watch a ton of beach volleyball, one timeout per team in every set. We also have a technical timeout 21 points in. So this is a real play. We see a lot of teams starting to use a little bit more now, Josh, that they use the timeout 2 or 3 points before the technical timeout, play a couple of points, try and get just a quick run, and then if it doesn't go your way, you've got that second timeout coming in your back pocket.
Yeah. Timeouts can be very effective as well to stop serving runs and to just, get a breather for your own team.
So out of the timeout, Lewis Bunton on the service line, top spin serve, again straight down the line, change of approach for Sweden. They try and go over on two, blocked by Luca. Lewis with the one-handed stab winner. Josh, he didn't know a lot about it necessarily, But sometimes sticking out a big left hand is all you need, and you see it again there from Lewis, straight down the sideline.
Yeah. That's just how good of a player Lewis is and his experience, knowing that it might not always work, but it's worth a try, and sometimes it does work out for you.
And sometimes it doesn't, and that serve definitely didn't. Long, wide, and not very handsome. As Teddy on the service line. Last point before the cut, and you can see Luca there trying to change it up just before the timeout.
Yeah.
Goes to the cut attempt, but finds the middle of the net. And Lewis and Luca 9-12 up at the technical timeout. And Josh, what have you seen from the British pair early on that's got them this small lead?
Their serving game has been very strong, and Lewis has been putting a lot of pressure on with the spin serves. And they're varying their shots very well as well, and they're playing very fast. It seems like the Sweden defenders are struggling a bit, and the blocker doesn't really know where exactly to block at most times, because Lewis is really good and Luke is really good at playing past the block, like we've seen so far in the game.
And over on court number 2, away to our left, they are 15 points into the under-20 bronze medal game. It's a Norwegian pair of Johannes Ringoen and Tobias Pedersen are 10-6 up over Zach McGaw and Dylan Parsons. And Josh, another one you know well, Dylan, obviously played with him on the club as well. And just talk about what a surprise they have been, playing up an age group. They should be playing with you guys in the U18s, but to balance the teams out, have been pushed up into the under-20s as Josh is trying to be distracted by some of his colleagues.
Yeah, Dylan and Zach have done a great job so far. Playing up an age as well.
Luca, the roll shot, and it's a big point from the technical timeout. Luca keeping it alive off the bottom of the net. Initially on the first touch and able to convert. As Teddy lines up an absolute ripper. He finds the sideline, and that, Josh, probably the hardest hit ball we've seen in this bronze medal game, and there's nothing Lewis Bunton can do on that one.
No, that is a great shot. That is a really good shot from Sweden.
As Luca off the net tape. And Henry trying to go long, puts enough topspin on it. That ball drops just inside the line. So back-to-back points for Sweden. And it's 13-11, the England lead. As Luca goes to the roll, and tough angle for Henrik on 2. And Josh, the position you're off at the blocker, like, you know your partner's not going to quite be able to pick it up unless you go really, really super high set.
Yeah.
And you have to try and make a decision, try and rush it over on 2. Just how hard a skill is that to try and execute?
Yeah, it's very difficult, and especially in the winds as well. The ball's always moving. You never know. Like just like that there, that's a great move from Sweden.
Yeah, the kill down the line by Teddy, going over on the second touch. But those second touch kills also important just to change up the rhythm and keep some of the blocking guessing as Luca goes off the back of his arms. But Lewis able to turn it down and turn it into a good bump set. But Luca makes the error. And the lead that England had, what was 4 points, is down to 1. Zach and Dylan on court 2, 14-7 down in the technical timeout. And Luca gets aced, the ball going high into left, and I think that's going to be a side change. Really smart piece of coaching by Sam DeBoven, asking the guys to go round the net, just have a quick chat so they don't have to use the timeout, but just a quick couple of words of encouragement and trying to settle his team down.
Yeah, you can see the wind there picking up, still picking up. Luca, it's very difficult to pass that serve, but there we go, he's got it this time.
And he'll rise up, go into the block of Henrik, but he can't quite control the downward angle. And it'll be an important side out for the English team. As Luca goes float serve, forces the overpass, he'll play it on 1, but allows him to get to the net on the third touch.
Yes.
And again, he'll play it off the hands of the block. Good awareness by Luca, just to play it off the side of the arms.
Yeah, Luca can see there that he's not fully pressed over the net.
And he'll float it onto the line.
Jumbo there from Luca, good serve.
And frustration for the Swedish pair, convinced that was going to go long. And the ball just holding up ever so slightly in the wind. That one short, and again the overpass. Lewis is going to get there on the first touch. He'll have to just roll it over top of the block, not a lot of power on it. As Henrik tries to go over on 2 for the kill, but Lewis alive again. And a second attempt to go over on 2. And the Swedish pair really trying to quicken up their offensive rhythm and pace.
Yeah, you can see the wind now is really, really picking up. And the players look like they're struggling a lot more than before, so playing faster and second balls is how to get in front in the game like this.
Cold enough, I might need to go put a jumper on in the set break. As Lewis Bunter,
Nice.
We haven't seen one of those in a while, but there's the cross-court hammer by the youngster.
Yeah, just like before, he did that earlier in the game. It's undefendable, really.
And Lewis finishing 7th in the European Championships last year in the U18 division with his partner Bailey. As England 2 points away from the set, 19 plays 15. Lewis Bunton again targeting the line, and
Good swing.
massive swing again, and that one 100% we need to see twice lined up. Luca trying to get there on the block, but to the right of the block, left of the defender, down that little middle seam. And textbook as you like from Teddy Engvall.
Yeah, you can see there Sweden trying to split the block, playing from one side of the court to the other.
As Luca takes one off the upper chest. Not going to be able to control that one well. And big serve by Teddy Engvall. And England are going to use the timeout they have available, 19-17, 4-point lead halved. And just a chance to talk about it a little bit more. You do see teams in this partnership try and target Luca a little bit more on serve. And it'll be interesting to see what they are talking about in that timeout. Obviously, experience of Sam on the sidelines as well, really helping this pair out. But Josh, all about just getting one good pass in and then really set up the offense from there.
Yeah, it's really important for England to side out now because it's obviously a close game, and if they get this point now, then it'll be only 1 point until the set's over. And that's going to really demotivate Sweden.
We have seen some comebacks in this Nevza tournament, though. We've also seen a couple of ridiculous sets of volleyball. Had one yesterday that went 31-29. The one thing these partnerships will be hoping is probably not long sets after 3 sets this morning, as Luca can't control it. Lewis puts it over on 2, just trying to rescue the ball. But not the greatest first touch by the Swedish pair. And that will set up as Luca from way back in the court goes.
Nice,
Big
Luca.
swing. And Teddy gets a hand to it, but his hand only sends it on to court number 2. Monster swing late in the set by Luca Robinson from Cardiff.
Yeah, great swing by Luca there.
And that'll set up 3 set points for the English pair as Luca gets the block. Not quite the kill, as the screams of the England coaches away to our right thought they might have won the point.
Yeah. Great block by Luca. Good covering from Sweden though.
And still set point for England this time on
Good pass.
pass. And yeah, as I said, pinpoint pass. Luca misses the sideline though. So 2 of the 3 set points gone, and maybe just a little bit nerves creeping in this medal game.
Yeah, England need to side out now to take the set.
A float serve, nothing you can do about that one. Rolls off the net tape for the ace, and Sweden ties up at 20 apiece. Henrik Bruce with the ace.
Yeah, as a player myself, that is extremely annoying when that happens.
Well,
'cause
unless
you
you're
can't do
serving.
anything. Oh yeah, unless you're serving, but as a passer there, it's very, very annoying because you can't do anything.
Lewis with an overset. And punished by Henrik. So from 3 set points down, the Swedes all of a sudden have set point. And again,
Good pass by Luca.
right on the net. Pick up by Sweden. Teddy's going to have a swing for it and finds the inside of the court, Josh. We'll have a look at that one again on the replay. Big rundown. And perfectly placed into that back right corner. Nothing you can do about that. And
Yeah,
Sweden steals set one.
Yeah, Sweden are also very good at, when me and Max played against them as well, at making out system balls in system, like just like there was a defence. The ball was nowhere near the net, but the blockers managed to push it all the way onto the net to give him freedom where to swing. Where as a blocker as well, it's very difficult to know when to pull off and when to stay.
Yep. Then the perfectly placed finish as well.
Yeah.
So Sweden are one set away from the bronze medal here on court. And over on court number one, it was the Norwegian pair of Johannes Ringenen and Tobias Pedersen, who took set one in that bronze medal game in the under-20s over Zach McGaw and Dylan Parsons. Zach and Dylan lost both first sets in the round of 12 and quarter-final action and stormed back in sets 2 and 3 to put themselves a spot in the semi-finals. And then dropped down to that bronze medal game this morning. A set 2 underway as the sun appears once again. As first point, Lewis into the net though. And the momentum completely gone from this English team, which felt relatively in control of set one the whole way through it, but couldn't quite close it out, and they'll need to regroup. As Luca into the block, but good big touch, and a turnaround swing by Henrik, misses the line. Bit of a let off for the England guys, because that was a ball right into the hitting arc of Henrik on the dig by his partner Teddy.
Luca's block scared him. Luca's block was right up there and he could have swung there, but he didn't.
We swung on that one. Lewis makes dig over on one. And another dig, but that one into and nearly over the marquee behind us.
Yeah, that's a great swing. Number one is a very, very powerful defender. Very explosive.
Being Teddy Youngvold, who played his Futures event in Malmo, Sweden, just a couple of weeks before heading out here to Bridlington, and got a 13th place finish. So a couple of wins on the Futures event for the 16-year-old, listed at 184. As he'll set up the little poke into the block, Sweden hoping to recycle, and the little pokey by Teddy. Lovely piece of hitting there just to change up again. And Sweden 3-2 up in set number 2.
Yeah, that's another great shot by Teddy.
Just a variety in his game. You can tell he's going through stages of mastering everything you need on the beach. As Lewis with a great pickup, but goes long on the swing. And he'll be frustrated because that one, again, in a good place for him to really pick up. The initial pickup was terrific, but felt like he could have done a little bit better with that.
Don't know whose point it is here. I don't know if it's out or in.
Oh, they called it in?
I think they called it in. Yeah.
Oh, block touch, I think our little spotter to our right saw. So
England
great piece of hitting by Lewis Bunton then.
Yeah, England going to be very happy with that.
That one is a Sweden point, however. We'll change ends 3-4. And doesn't matter if you're on the indoor or on the beach, a touch is a touch. Yeah. A fingernail, an outside pinky finger, it doesn't matter. As a little float serve into wind. So downwind by Luca, and the roll over block.
Yeah, you can see there Sweden really playing their own shots and their own technique there, running behind, trying to split the blocker and defender apart.
As the roars go up from court 2, but Luca gets blocked as Henrik bounces the ball back into Luca. And England with an early timeout. What do you think Coach Sam's seeing here, Josh? Only 5-4 down. What do you think he's seen that he wants to have an early chat with Lucas and Lewis about?
I think Sam's seeing the momentum shifting, and they're seeing that Sweden are maybe getting on a few more runs, and beach volleyball, especially when it's just a 2v2 game, you need to stop those runs as best as you can. So I think Sam's just going to tell them to reset and just like relax and pass and set, and then try side out as best as they can. And then now is where like very important stage of the game, because it can either lead to a good start and a good finish to the game, or it can be very close and then other teams run away with it. So I think Sam's just trying to stop them running away from it and focusing on the next side out.
And important for England, no room for error now, having dropped that first set. As over on court number 2, the comeback kings of the event, Zach and Dylan, having dropped the first set, we're 7-3 down. 4 in a row from Zach and Dylan tied us up at 7 apiece. As again, the Swedish serve off the net tape rolls it over for the ace.
Yeah, he's done that twice now. He must be very happy. Good pass by Luca.
As he'll get the swing, and that's a confidence builder for Luca.
Great swing.
Perfect pass, perfect swing and down the seam.
Yeah, I think that's what Sam was looking for on the timeout there, to just stop Sweden from advancing and give Luca a bit more confidence when he's attacking.
As Luca gets a touch on the block, Lewis is going to go over and earn the free ball. Nice and early call for Bunton, and he'll swing, plays it off the hands. As lift called on court number 2 as that ball heads over there.
Yeah, you can see there just the explosiveness of Lewis there. Just standing, jumping very high and hitting it right into the corner.
And great to see our volunteers who are off for this game having a bit of fun on court number 4. Away to our right. Look like we copied a bit of your king and queen of the court format. We'll talk about that in the technical timeout. Why not? As into the net goes the Swedish pair. It's the first time we've really seen a jump set in this game, but Lewis Bonner able to make the dig on that one.
Yeah, very well read from Lewis there.
As Lewis with another pickup, Luca goes to set. Lewis is going to scramble to get that little knuckle cut pokey. I don't know what to call that.
Wow.
But either way, it was a winner. See if we can work out what we're going to call that on the replay, Josh. Cut poke.
Yeah.
That's what we'll go with.
Real athleticism there by Lewis.
And he was probably, as that ball was being set by Luca, probably a little mutter under his breath about why you're trying to set that. Get it over. Maybe a bit of fatigue from that point showing as he serves directly into the net. As technical timeout on court number 2. Zach and Dylan trailing 12-9 in that bronze medal game. As Luca goes down the line with the roll shot.
Yeah, Luca's seen his block there and just placed the ball right off his hands.
And over on court number 3, away to our right. Warm-ups just starting for the under-18 women's final. That'll be our next game, and after this, all 4 games going to be on the centre court. We know teams are going to come across and support.
Playing against a team like Sweden, it can be very difficult for players like that as a blocker, because you don't know when they're going to set or hit. So, like, you've just seen Luca there just blocking in like the middle of the net, and it's really, really difficult to determine where the ball's going to go, which is why being a blocker is a hard job, and Luca's doing a great job at the moment.
Can't get his hands to that one, nor can Lewis, tracking down the little roll into the back corner. As for the third time, Henrik has the net court. And Josh, I thought this was your home court. What have Luca and Lewis done to upset you to the net court's not playing ball?
What do you mean?
It's your home court. Surely the net should be helping your teammates out.
Well, yeah, I know, but no, Sweden did this to us as well. They must have some sort of pause or something. I don't know how. Because when we were playing them, they did a few times as well. Might be aiming for it or something.
Well, it's a strategy we do some
Yeah.
see some use. They have got net as we will get to that technical timeout as Lewis Bunton fires in through the baseline, nearly takes out our back camera, and Sweden with a run of points, 5-2 that mini change of ends, and they will lead 11-10. But Josh, obviously, while we've got you, just talk a little bit about the week. Obviously, you had the senior event, which I know chatting to you going into it, kind of a pressure off type situation. You wanted to prove yourselves, but you kind of knew the real challenge was going to be in the 18s. But obviously having the event here all week long on your home beach where you train, just talk about how pleasing it's been for you and Max this week.
Yeah, it's been a great week. It's been a great week to be fair at the Brid. Like, the weather has actually been really nice. People might be complaining about, you know, the wind and stuff, but this has been really good weather, and like the wind is actually can be like helpful in some cases, and I think I'm really proud of me and Max for what we've like done. Like, this is like our second Nevza, and we've never really like proved ourselves before, but I feel like over this competition we've managed to be able to like prove like what we can do and beating and coming close to some like really great teams. And it's also been just a great experience for us, like versing like Sweden, a team like this, and versing with Norway, who we lost to in the like quarterfinals. We've realised that we're not like far away.
As Lewis with a ridiculous pick-up out of the technical timeout and wins the point. Lewis Bunton. That little rest did you the world of good. That is a big point for the English team to tie us up at 11-11. And we said you did pick up a win in the senior competition, and in the round of 12, not that far away either from a victory. And obviously you ran into a couple of strong pairs at the wrong time on the draw as Henrik misses the line. And just talk about what's next for you as a pair going rest of summer. Obviously you're going to spend a bit more time on the beach, but what events have you got coming up?
Yeah, I think we're gonna take a little not a break, but we're gonna have a week maybe off of beach, which is gonna be like quite nice to just relax a bit more. But no, we're gonna try to do as many 4-stars as we can, and then just keep looking forward to the next competitions. Really, just take it as we go.
Obviously a lot on the UK beach tour. I know you've got a couple of dates circles. You played in the club champs as well this year, going rather than entering the trophy. I know you decided as a group to test yourselves a little bit more by playing up to the champs. And the UK beach tour in full effect. I think the Grand Slam finals down on the south coast this year, off memory.
Yeah, I think it's Weymouth maybe. Well, I know me and Max are trying to go to Weymouth. It's like Weymouth 5-star. It's like a very big competition with some really great teams from England, isn't it?
Yeah, and one partnership you may see in those events are Luca and Lewis.
Yeah, definitely.
The pair of them entered the the 4-star in Cardiff at the start of the summer, and placed third in the senior men's side of the bracket. As Teddy and Henrik, don't matter what you do on the UK beach tour, it's a matter of what you do now, and what they didn't do was get a hand to that hard hit winner. And Luca responds on the cross court.
That's a great swing.
14-13, and again we'll get to see that one again. As Josh said, great angle, tight and short of the defender. They took away that line option.
Yeah, Luca's great at doing that type of shot like that, just finding angles. Like, he knew he was going to block line, so he finds the cross court and swings.
As potentially we have a sky ball on court too. We'll see if they try it. No, they won't.
No.
Not as brave as you, Josh, yesterday, I must say. Josh was a little bit ahead. I think, was it 2011?
Yeah, I think something like that.
And I may have pressured him into trying a sky ball. He was definitely not thinking about it until it came over the tannoy system.
No,
it wasn't a million miles away, to be fair.
No, it was pretty close, but it went all the way over the net.
When he means the net, ladies and gentlemen, he means serving from court 2 onto centre court, not the net that he... Well, I suppose technically he did get it over the right net.
Yeah, bit too far though.
And it looks like Zach and Dylan will fall 21-14 in the second set of that game. So congratulations to Johannes Ringen and Tobias Pedersen from Norway. They will pick up the under-20 bronze medal. And Sweden now just 4 points away in front of us from the under-18 medal. As Luca into the block, and we haven't seen many stuffs in this game, but Henrik Bruce comes up with a perfectly timed one. Sweden one step closer to that bronze medal.
And that's a great block. He's done a little celebration there as well.
As Lewis, that's a tight ball. And net contact by Lewis. That was too tight for a full swing. And this game, unfortunately, just slipping away from this English pair.
Yeah, this is what can happen in beach volleyball. Just it's all about momentum, and once a team can just get momentum on serves, this can just happen.
As Lewis misses the sideline, and the Swedish
Maybe
pair.
skyball. No.
Not in a bronze. I would very much understand the decision in a bronze medal game with a team you've battled really close with. But suppose if you're going to float serve the ball long, you might as well have tried a sky ball.
Exactly.
But 1 match point, so Luca and Lewis have got a job to do. But we've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, definitely.
The Swedish team won 5 points in a row to win set number 1. Can Luca and Lewis do 5 in a row?
Yeah, they're not out of this yet.
As the line swings, hands of Luca, and now it is over. As Teddy Engvall and Henrik Bruce pick up the bronze medal here in the under-18 men's division. They beat Luca Robinson and Lewis Bunton 22-20, 21-15. And a well-earned bronze medal by the Swedes. And again, the semi-finals this morning, both of them could have gone either way, and the Swedes be delighted to come away with a bronze medal, Josh, but also it's a team that could have quite easily won gold as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the semi-finals earlier between Norway and Sweden was a very, very good match. And that's two very high-quality teams. And same with England and Finland, like anyone could have been in the final.
Yeah, and we will see that gold medal game later, I believe, off memory. That's a 3:40 first serve is the plan.
Yeah.
Here on South Beach, Bridlington. But congratulations to the Swedish team of Teddy Engvall and Henrik Bruce. They are your bronze medalists. We'll take a break and get ready for the first gold medal game in the under-18 women's. But from Josh Cosgrove and myself, Mike Hunter, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you shortly for the gold medal games here in Bridlington.
Thank you.
I think you are going on together actually.